Sean Kugler fired from his position as the Arizona Cardinals offensive line coach and running game coordinator on Tuesday. And Kugler was let go following an incident in Mexico City on Sunday night. Kugler groped a woman.
First, I gotta give a shout out to my brother Brett Coleman for the tip. Literally sent this in one of our group chats and brought it to my attention, and it blew me away. But on top of that, it's very important to note that these are all allegations so far. There is nothing here that is for sure, that's concrete or anything of that sort. There is a story and there's multiple reputable sources commenting about the story. Nothing has been defined so far, but it is an insane story. I mean, I genuinely mean this, where I don't think I've ever covered a story like this in my entire career. But before we get to the content, make sure you drop, like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. We're conducting multiple giveaways on my Twitter and my Instagram account, so make sure you follow there if you're interested. And now that we get all that out of the way, break! This video is sponsored by PrizePicks. You guys know PrizePicks has been my latest obsession because I live in California. There's no way that you could gamble on games in California, so the best way you could get action on games is through PrizePicks. And ever since I partnered with them, we've been having a lot of fun. And before we get to the latest promo, I want to give a huge shout out to my man Nasri Hasbun, who tweeted me a six-legged pick that he hit on as a result of our last promo, which means he 25x'd his money. And that's freaking awesome. Hopefully more of my subs hit this big as a result of today's promo. As a matter of fact, it's not only today's promo, because from this day and on until Christmas Day, PrizePicks is releasing a brand new promo every day, and it's called Picksmas. All you have to do is download PrizePicks, use my promo code Mikerophone to get up to a $100 deposit match, and then just log into PrizePicks each and every day to see what they're offering for that day. Since they're offering a brand new promo each and every day, I'm probably going to be posting my picks onto my Instagram story. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I literally play PrizePicks each and every day. So huge shout out to PrizePicks for the sponsor. Make sure you sign up with my promo code Mikerophone or the link in the description down below. And thank you, PrizePicks, for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? One of the more unfortunate surprises of this current NFL season has been the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, coming fresh off of a very dominant season last year, where Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray were able to lead the Arizona Cardinals to second place in the NFC West. Bear in mind, they started the season red hot, going 7-0 to start, and eventually getting to 10-2 before losing 4 of their remaining 5 games to finish off at 11-6. And the beginning of their meltdown sort of started there. They faced off against the eventual Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams, and ever since then, it's been a bit of a circus. We covered it multiple times in the offseason. Kyler Murray scrubbing his entire IG feed of everything except a picture of him and his buddy CeeDee Lamb at the Pro Bowl, and him holding up the Heisman. Arizona Cardinals clapped back by doing the same thing, except leaving up a picture of Kyler getting drafted. This all eventually evolved into Kyler Murray's agent writing a gigantic paragraph essay that essentially said Kyler Murray wants a contract extension. And man, good on Kyler. That ended up being the right decision. If you remember back then, I said that this only screws over Kyler Murray if he wanted more money. This is him essentially taking the deal that's offered, because as time progresses on, quarterback contracts get more and more inflated. It's not necessarily a right or a wrong decision. At some point or another, you're going to have to pay your star QB. And Kyler Murray ended up making the right deal because unfortunately he sustained a season-ending injury. But that wasn't the only bit of weirdness that went on in the offseason. I mean, this wasn't weird, trading for Marquise Hollywood Brown, one of Kyler Murray's old targets, to replace DeAndre Hopkins, who got suspended for 6 games for PED usage, allegedly. But when this upcoming season started again, things got a little strange. I mean, you saw Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury fighting on the sideline significantly more. The Arizona Cardinals in general were just struggling as a team, starting out the regular season with a paltry 2-4 record, hoping that DeAndre Hopkins could get them back to where they need to be. Unfortunately, that's not what ended up happening. As things stand now, the Arizona Cardinals are 4-9. And this comes after a game where they lost Kyler Murray for the remainder of the season due to a torn ACL. And if you thought all of this was weird, man, we didn't even get to anything yet. because the weirdness isn't taking place at the player level. It's not even taking place at the coach's level. It's taking place at the general manager level. So check this out. A couple of days ago, Cardinals general manager Steve Keim announced that he is going to take a health-related leave of absence. Yeah, you can make a bunch of jokes about how his heart can't take watching the terrible Arizona Cardinals anymore, but no, apparently it was really serious. Quentin Harrison, vice president of player personnel, Adrian Wilson will handle Keim's duties on an interim basis. This is significant. If you remember, Adrian Wilson was being mentioned for multiple general manager positions over this past offseason. He is definitely qualified to handle the situation. Now, here's where it gets a little interesting. All we have is that the team said that it will have no further comment out of respect for privacy, which is required by law. Very interesting. I mean, don't get me wrong, Steve Keim is entitled to his privacy should he want that, but it's just a very interesting thing to say. Typically, whenever there's some sort of health issue, we'll have an idea of what's going on. And as someone that recently went through a health issue and for the most part tried to keep it behind closed doors as much as I could, despite having to show my face to hundreds and thousands of remarkable subscribers on a daily basis, I could understand wanting to keep a health issue private. I have empathy for him. But here's where it gets really interesting. The only other thing that's notable in this entire article is when you scroll all the way down, it begins to cite various events that occurred for the Arizona Cardinals this past year. In August, the Cardinals suspended running backs coach James Saxon after a May incident in which he was charged with domestic assault. In November, Arizona fired offensive line coach Sean Kugler for allegedly inappropriately touching a woman in Mexico City. This is where the story gets really interesting. You'll see what I mean. I have never covered a story like this. According to the Football Scoop, there's an interesting situation brewing in Arizona, where Sean Kugler, who was fired recently, files requests for arbitration while mentioning possible quote-unquote mistaken identity. Bro, look at what Sean Kugler looks like, and tell me in the comment section down below, whose identity do you think is being mistaken here? And at the same time, you might be wondering, Mike, what's the significance of this? Well, let's read on. Back in November, Arizona Cardinals offensive line coach / run game coordinator Sean Kugler was sent home from Mexico City and was subsequently fired a few days later. Head coach Cliff Kingsbury and the organization. The decision to send Kugler home from the game came following allegations surfaced that he inappropriately touched a female while traveling with the team. Okay, this sounds like how you should handle a situation such as this, but it gets crazier. The law firm of Shields Pittetti, representing Sean Kugler, filed a request for arbitration. The law firm's release calls the allegations made against their client as flat out false and state that the Cardinals dismissed Kugler without a thorough investigation and without interviewing him about the alleged incident. So pretty much what they're saying is the Cardinals just fired him right off the bat the moment they heard about it. So check this out. The allegations against Coach Kugler are simply untrue and have caused Sean, his wife, and family enormous personal and professional damage. Coach and his family have been desperate to understand from the Cardinals front office and others what rationale or evidence was used to terminate him for cause. Now, look at Kugler's statement. Respecting women is a core value for me and something I have instilled in my children and the players that I coach. Mysterious allegations by the Cardinals are untrue, and I want to clear my name, be it a miscommunication or mistaken identity. My family and I will cooperate fully and honestly with the NFL, Cardinals, or any other agency to get to the truth in this matter and restore my reputation. There are incredible people that work in the game, from league level to my players, fellow coaches, and incredible support staff. I simply want to get back to doing what I love and would like my family to have peace. Bro, I cannot imagine a more terrifying situation here. And we say it on this channel over and over again. It's really unfortunate when situations like this occur, when an individual is accused of doing something, and whether he is rightfully accused or is not rightfully accused, the fact that he lost his job and the opportunity at hand is enough to make him net negative on the situation. That's a nicer way of saying it. I mean, just imagine if you're doing your business and then all of a sudden you get accused of making another woman uncomfortable and then you lose your job despite not doing it. Now, bear in mind, these are all allegations. And now you might be thinking, Mike, what is the significance here? Well, take a look at this. This is what Sean Kugler looks like, okay? And if you want, we could bring up multiple images of Sean Kugler. Now, this is what Steve Keim looks like. So, for lack of a better way of saying it, these individuals are relatively large large, bald, Caucasian men with a mild amount of facial hair. I could understand what is being insinuated here, and I wouldn't think this is really much at all, but you have to admit, the fact that Steve Keim decided to take a leave of absence for health reasons, and there not being much of an explanation except for that, definitely makes this a little interesting. Now, again, these are all allegations, so let's get an individual that we actually could trust to talk to us about this situation. From the team, as an ongoing legal matter, we are going to refrain from comment other than to say that the team is confident the process will result in a much different set of facts than those presented today, and that it had good cause to terminate Mr. Kugler's employment. The thing is, man, and again, I'll say it over and over again, these are just allegations. I'll just give you my interpretation of it. I can't say who did it and who did not do it, but I could say that the Arizona Cardinals historically have just been a gigantic front office dumpster fire that has gotten lucky in multiple areas. And I don't mean this as any disrespect, man. It's just they hit on the DeAndre Hopkins trade. They definitely hit on Kyler Murray. It's just the way things are run down there is just, there's always been something a little fishy to me. I mean, the same general manager that drafted Josh Rosen is the same general manager that drafted Kyler Murray. And I don't mean any disrespect to either of those individuals. It's just something about the way this organization is run is a little sketchy to me. So for those of you guys that don't know what Sean Kugler is accusing the Cardinals of, he's pretty much implying that Steve Keim was the human that was in that situation where he made that woman feel uncomfortable, and then perhaps Sean Kugler was the one that was being framed. The thing that's interesting about this situation is if Sean Kugler wasn't in the right here, if Sean Kugler was truly guilty, he would just try to brush this under the rug and try to move on with his career. I did not hear about the Sean Kugler firing. It was definitely like a blip on my radar. The fact that he's blowing this up either implies that he might be innocent, or that the Arizona Cardinals are like doing something sinister, or he's just a really smart guy that noticed that he looks like Steve Keim, and as a result, he decided to come out with the statement. At the end of the day, the thing that's sketching me out the most is the fact that Steve Keim took a leave of absence and just cited health reasons, and that the Arizona Cardinals did not question further into the matter. But at the end of the day, these are all allegations. My analysis about this entire situation could be incorrect. And I just wanted to state that repeatedly because we are a little ways away from getting our answers to this case. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about the situation. It's absolutely absurd to me. And aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.